Na dann nichts wie raus hier. Die Texturen haben noch gar nicht geladen. Hallo, lade. Egal. Ui,
Depressurization complete.
Exiting airlock. How do I reach the
da
generator?
oben ist er.
The generator facility should be just up ahead as you exit.
Copy that.
Das sieht cool aus.
I'll mark the destination for you.
Juno, pull the FTL's output
Oh, das Spiel muss nachladen. Ich bin zu schnell für das Spiel.
log. Start
Ist
with a
wirklich
few
nicht
minutes
gut
back from the
optimiert.
accident.
Also,
What are you looking for?
If your Android is right and the FTL accident really
Ja.
did create a temporal
hier komme ich
anomaly,
nicht rein.
then we should see clear evidence of the event in the output data. FTL drives don't normally rip open tunnels through time.
Not according to our experience.
Guess we're just lucky.
Maybe not. Juno, show us readings from the moment the ticks made contact with the drive. This resonance. The FTL shouldn't be creating a displacement with this signature and nowhere near this magnitude.
Then it's the biomass. Has to be. It's causing some sort of reaction in the drive.
We'll need to run some simulations.
Let's get to it then. Jack, we'll be on standby.
Acknowledged. Is Habitat B reachable?
I'm afraid not. It's completely severed from the rest of the facility and beyond the signal range of the systems that currently allow you to reboot.
Oh, yeah, definitely not worth that risk. We can just let this one rest in peace.
Juno, I found an access hatch on the exterior of the generator facility. Perhaps I can gain entrance through there.
Affirmative. Although under ordinary circumstances, it is a non-traditional method of entry.
Well, sometimes you just have to improvise.
Offen. So einfach geht das.
I'm inside the facility. What's next?
The main problem is almost certainly the reactor. It's a large cylindrical structure in the facility's central chamber. The access way will take you there, though additional cutting may be required. But please, try to avoid damaging our former workplace too heavily.
Juno!
Wait, you two used to work here?
Juno and I were part of the station's biomass research team.
So you were here during the outbreak?
No, I had taken leave to pursue my theory for eliminating the biomass. By the time I returned, it was too late. There was no one left.
My God, Harlan.
Captain, please. We have work to do.
Scan successful. Interesting. Shortly before the outbreak, the engineers developed a means of optimizing the power flow of the reactor. Jack, if you can find more data on this, I may be able to adapt these principles to your integrated cutter.
How much more data?
Uncertain.
Ding.
Without possessing the actual data, it's impossible to
Ding.
measure its size. Nonetheless, I've
Mach mal
made
das
an
Ding mal
entry
auf.
for the Tanger computer. I anticipate only a few more scans will be required, though.
Acknowledged.
Weg.
I'll keep watch for more data ports. I'm opening the
und das
casing
noch
for
an.
a closer look at the reactor.
Copy that.
Und hier haben wir einen Reactor Core.
A fully charged core. Might be useful if I can find a proper receptacle for it.
Now simply rotate the core clockwise until it stops turning.
Core is locked in.
Excellent.
Hier gibt's bestimmt noch mehr. Ja, sieh mal eine an.
This access hatch could provide a way into the storage area, but some of the bolts are outside my cutter's range.
We might be able to do something about that, actually. From the few logs I've been able to access, I believe the generator's staff were working on improving the reactor's efficiency. If we can recover data on their efforts, I may be able to adapt that technology to improve the range of your cutter. Look around for any equipment containing a data port.
Copy that, Juno.
Machen wir hier mal auf, vielleicht ist da unten ja was. Nö. Das haben wir schon. Ha.
Juno, these pylons, what are they?
That's a signal conditioner, Jack. It helps ensure clean power delivery to the rest of the station. They should activate once you finish installing new cores and spin up the reactor.
Schneiden wir uns mal hier durch. Vielleicht ist dahinter ja was. Die scannen. Aha, sieh mal eine an.
Some type of local data storage?
Correct. Insert enough of them into a database terminal, and the terminal's data port will become available to scan. Nice work, Jack. Much of the data here will prove useful in augmenting your cutter. Unfortunately, we will need more to complete the design. But I did find something that might be of interest. A voice memo from the station's chief engineer regarding the technology. I've added it to your ARM computer's data tab, Jack.
Schauen wir uns das doch mal an.
Hey everyone, I wanted to send a quick update to just our team before the news goes wide. We did it. As of about 6 minutes ago, we flipped the switch on the new reaction management system. We're seeing a stable 72% increase in outflow with a peak at almost 90%. For those keeping score, that's 12% above projections. Hell of a job, everyone. This will save lives.
Und das kann ich jetzt scannen.
Good news, Jack. With the data you just collected, I expect we need only one more scan to complete the design.
Juno, I need you to run the math on these sim parameters.
Yes, Doctor.
Dr. Harlan, why did you have to leave the station? There seems to be plenty of biomass.
That is all highly evolved. I need the base genetic material, and that can only be found in an undetonated biomass torpedo. There's nothing more I could do from here.
Right, then what brought you back? Did you know the station had...
I'm sorry, Captain Rhodes, but we do not have time for me to recount my entire life story. I was here. I lived. And when I came back, everyone was dead or gone.
All right, fine.
Why don't I simply compile an archive of the logs covering our time away from the station? That way the captain can review them at her leisure.
If you must, but after you've finished verifying the sim parameters.
Very well. I will let you know when I've finished, Captain.
Thanks, Juno.
Excellent. That did indeed provide sufficient data. Just give me a moment to process everything. Stand by. Schematic complete. Please head to the nearest fabricator so we can install the improvement to your cutter.
Reprint.
Integration successful. Your shell's reactive cutter has been refitted with extended range and efficiency.
Well done, Juno.
The pleasure was mine. And please, restrict cutting to non-critical equipment.
I've managed to open the
Und
hatch
offen.
leading to the storage area.
Splendid. The area should now be accessible through the maintenance duct below. Captain, I've finished compiling the log data you requested.
Great, can you pass it to my ARM computer, Juno? Actually, best send it to Jack as well.
Of
Was
course.
ist denn das?
Jack, I've added it to your data tab.
Wow, this is some archive.
It was an illuminating expedition. I took the liberty of segmenting the log
Ui.
entries. Feel free to review them at your own pace.
If you
Ja,
two
ja,
have
machen wir
finished,
später.
I've input the parameters for the next sim.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, so, erstmal der Reaktor. Um diese ganzen Audiologs kümmern wir uns später. Irgendwann dann mal. Oh, das ist nicht gut. Cut! Wo ist jetzt mein... Ah, da. Bleib hier. Hab dich. Und du kommst...
Second core installed.
Acknowledged. Please visit one of the nearby consoles to bring the reactor back online.
The reactor is back online.
The power hasn't returned here on the ship yet.
Jack, power still needs to be distributed from here to the ship, as well as the rest of the station. The control room has a console you can use to perform this final step.
Dann nichts wieder hin. Aha. Dunk.
Distribution complete. Power grid stabilized. Life support systems optimal.
Well done, Jack. We're getting full power here.
How is progress on your end?
Dr. Harlan's still running sims, but I think we at least have a working theory.
All the models we've run so far appear to confirm biomass interaction with an active FTL triggers an abnormal buildup of energy within the drive, resulting in the formation of a temporal anomaly.
For reasons we still don't fully understand.
It's also unclear why the accident only caused the android's software to travel through time, as opposed to the more physical time jumps we've observed with the Astrea. But at this point, I'm willing to accept these ambiguities and proceed.
Wait, what exactly are you saying?
We must try it again.
What, send Jack back in time again? You've got to be kidding me.
It's the only way. Any chance we have of eliminating the biomass lies with finding an undetonated torpedo. We must send the android back.
You talk like he's expendable.
Of course he is. All of us are. You've seen how it spreads. Eradicating the biomass is going to take everything we have, and then some.
Yeah, well, it's not just up to you, is it? Jack, what do you think?
If the end result is you being cured, is that not the best course of action?
Are you sure? There are so many unknowns here.
There does not appear to be another way of obtaining the data required. Waiting for an alternative presents a far greater risk to your safety. And your safety
Is your primary concern, right? Should have seen that coming. Fine. I'm on board. So what's next?
We're going to have to recreate the circumstances of the time travel accident.
Oh, don't tell me.
We're going to need biomass. Contained biomass samples specifically. The research facility should serve our purposes nicely.
There is one other problem. The FTL accident depleted the drive's fuel cells, and we don't have the supplies to refill them.
Then our best bet for a fuel cell will be the remnants of the Astrea. However, exploring that area may be difficult. Pesky shipboard defense protocols somehow remain active. Something off with the AI, Juno says.
Could be just as dangerous as dealing with the biomass, really. Well, Jack, what's up first? Grab some creepy crawlies from the research facility? Or dig up a fuel cell for the FTL drive?
I'll collect our biomass samples first.
Though no longer operational, there is a tram line leading from the central transit hub out to the research facility.
Understood.
So when Jack eventually returns with these volatile materials, where exactly do we plan to store them?
I believe I can convert elements of the refueling depot to suit our needs.
Need a hand?
Why, yes, Captain. Your assistance would be most appreciated.
Anything's better than just sitting here. Come on, Popcorn. Let's get ready to head out. Good luck out there. See you soon.
Wo muss ich denn hin? Ist das die Research Facility? Oder das da? Ich sehe keine Marker. Na? Warte. Ich mache mir meinen eigenen Marker. Hm. Hallo. Klick das an. Doch da. Oder nicht wie dahin. Vielleicht erwische ich diese Drohne. Nein, bleib hier. Oh. Dann fliegen wir halt selbst dahin. Ist ja langweilig. Ui. Oh, Ladebildschirm.
Careful, Jack. There's another form of the biomass nearby. You may have seen them before. Elongated structures with an affinity for spore dispersion.
Indeed, cysts. Their rapid regrowth, even after bursting, makes them particularly dangerous. This specimen appears somewhat different than the others I've previously encountered. It has tentacles.
Yes, I believe that particular adaptation manifested somewhat recently. The biomass has been evolving continuously since your time. Regardless, you'll want to keep your distance, if possible.
I've located a stalled tramcar. There are casualties inside. Both victims of severe biomass infestation.
Any idea who they are, do you know?
I'm afraid I'm unable to discern their identities from here. And unfortunately, the station's transit logs are corrupted. I can't access passenger manifests. The only way to identify the victims would be by scanning their personal data ports. Unfortunately, our access is blocked by the biomass. As we currently do not possess any means of bypassing the infestation, I suggest we move on.
This appears to be another form of the biomass. It detects my presence, much like the other specimens encountered thus far.
We classify it as a reticulated B biomass organism, but most people just call them webs.
Aside from their namesake membrane, webs can also be recognized by an additional nodule. It should be quite distinct. You're approaching the biomass research facility. This is where the outbreak originated.
We're sure there's some contained biomass on hand for Jack to retrieve.
Logs indicate 1 or 2 containers should still be in storage. However, reaching them may be difficult due to the entire facility being under lockdown.
The tram entrance will undoubtedly be your only way in.
Acknowledged.
And Jack, that distinct nodule I mentioned? Think of it as a sensor. If it detects you, it will stimulate the web's expansion reflex. Just something to keep in mind as you explore the station.
The facility appears to be in fairly poor condition, but there is at least some power flow.
Due to the generator being restored.
Unfortunately, I'm still unable to access any systems further into the facility. Power flow stops at the entry terminal. It appears that the systems are outright disconnected, including the physical entry bridge. Jack, you'll need to reconnect those systems to gain entry to the facility.
Copy that. It seems someone was emphatic about maintaining the lockdown.
That console would have controlled the bridge leading into the main facility.
I assumed.
I'm not seeing any backup controls in the blueprints, unfortunately. It's possible the cave contains systems not listed in the schematics. It may be worth a quick investigation.
Es sieht cool aus. Ah, diese Brücke müssen wir jetzt ausfahren.
This bridge is currently disconnected. As part of the...
Reestablishing main generator connection.
Ne, das war ja
Be
einfach.
advised, Class 3 power fields will become active. Dormancy will be nullified.
Jack, power will soon be returning to the immediate area, as well as the rest of the research facility. Just keep in mind that you'll also be awakening any dormant biomass within.
That's a good point. By restoring power, we're undoing something that was put in place as a die-hard safety precaution.
We're certain this is the only place we're going to find a contained biomass?
Assuming these fragmented station logs are correct, Yes.
Well, that's reassuring.
Finalizing connection.
Hört auf zu reden!
Connection established. Now receiving power readings throughout the facility. Jack, once you have the bridge fully extended, you should be able to access the facility proper. Though
Yeah.
I suspect some areas may have additional security requirements.
Nora, the research director, would have done everything she could to contain the outbreak. But there is no containing it. This was an eventuality.
It's fortunate that your disagreement over priorities led you to be elsewhere when the outbreak occurred.
It's only fortunate if I'm right.
Das zu scannen hat
Bridge
anscheinend
extension
nichts gebracht.
initiated.
Dann verbinden wir mal die beiden Brücken.
Bridge reconnection complete.
I'm heading back to the entry terminal.
Dr. Harlan, if these power readings are accurate, our suspicions appear confirmed.
What's that now? What suspicions?
Educated guess, rather.
Which is different.
We were concerned that residual power currents may have allowed the biomass to continue spreading for some time after the lockdown.
Okay. And?
Webs have likely taken hold. Caution is advised, Jack.
Acknowledged.
Oh, was soll schon schief gehen?
Biomass has taken hold here.
Given that it got this far, the rest of the facility will likely be much worse.
Will the fabricator still be operational?
In the security control room, I found a casualty.
According to logs, Adler Reyes.
He must have been trying to keep the scanners running to prevent the biomass from leaving the facility.
But if someone failed to scan,
They would have had to remain behind. Unfortunately, even the scanning room itself became contaminated.
Jack, you are now entering the facility's lobby. Biomass containment is located in the Levels door.
Das geht nicht. Komm ich hier rein?
This area appears to be locked down.
That's the test wing. We should focus on reaching the containment area.
Medical Wing vielleicht? Ah. So viel dazu. Also doch hier.
Another one of the web forms. I still have no way to bypass.
Then try the labs. The research they were doing there might prove useful.
I found another casualty in the lobby.
Dr. Brianna Leamington.
She was one of our pathologists.
Hier ist was.
Data recovery successful. She apparently died shortly after completing an emergency containment procedure. I'll play back the file.
To engage a Type 3 containment firebreak, please follow these steps. First, locate the access panel. To release it, slide it perpendicular to its housing. Please discard the panel safely. Next, grip the emergency disconnect switch. Pull it sharply. Local power systems should deactivate. Lastly, if you have any reason to believe that you are carrying an infection, please refrain from crossing the firebreak. Doing so will nullify its effect.
There's some kind of added security here.
Dr. Everett Harlan reporting. Authorized laboratory access.
Voice-activated authorization. That's a smart security feature.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
This switch controls power for this hallway. This must be the emergency disconnect Dr. Leamington pulled to try and slow the outbreak.
they really did all they could to try and get the infestation under control.
They knew once it was out, they couldn't stop it. All they could do was buy time for everyone else on the station.
What sort of research were they doing here?
The director was convinced a cure was impractical. So she poured everything into containment technology.
Did she have any luck?
When I left, she had everyone working on miniaturizing the insulation cloaking from our containment unit. I'm not sure how far they got.
Hallo? Ich will das da ansprechen. Jetzt, man muss den Kopf immer in einer ganz bestimmten Position haben, dass man die Sachen ansprechen kann. Jetzt gerade geht's gar nicht mehr. Ihr habt ja gerade gesehen, es hat gerade eben noch funktioniert.
These controls are running some sort of automated procedure.
The system
Lass mich
is
das
no longer
ansprechen.
reachable over the network. Cut off by the biomass feedback. It must be an old test, abandoned during the outbreak and resumed now that we've restored power.
Hallo. Ja gut, dann halt nicht. Was ist das?
I assume these microscopes were used to observe the biomass.
I believe so, yes.
Development of the biomass containment technology required research at the macro, micro,
Ugh.
and even nanoscopic scales.
With these microscopes, the researchers would have been able to observe the effect of their containment technology in real time, with a more manageable sample size, of course.
It must have been a heavy responsibility to work so closely with live biomass samples.
It was not without its risks.
So, would you say it was more or less risky than intentionally infecting your own FTL drive?
If you have any less precarious solutions, Captain, I'm all yes.
Gibt's noch mehr von den Dingern? Lecker.
The glass is broken. I'm afraid your former workplace has seen better days, Doctor.
The external spread was what breached the chamber,
Seems to me the entire facility became one giant test chamber.
and that too was breached.
Seems the researchers here found some success. Whatever this device is, I was able to neutralize the biomass by activating it.
It looks to be a functional prototype. I knew she. They were close, but I didn't know they had moved into practical testing. The basic concept was to surround the biomass with a cloak of electromagnetic insulation, preventing energy from reaching it.
Kind of like using a blanket to smother a flame.
Indeed. The idea was to build these cloak emitters as a reactive defense against the biomass, to contain it.
I can see a wide range of applications. It's
It's a store at best, not a solution. I wish she could have seen that.
biomass at the exit neutralized.
It's possible I failed to foresee some of the cloak emitters'
Au.
eventual
Oh.
applications.
Erschreckt
Sounds like
mich
your
nicht so.
research director was on the right track.
Nora. She never gave up. I could hardly ever pull her away from her work.
Dr. Harlan, if I may interject, the local data I'm seeing implies that the director's efforts to develop cloak emitters proceeded beyond prototyping. Portable versions were installed in some of the X3 medtech shells. Several of these shells appear to have been left behind in the medical wing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I believe it may be possible to fit Jack with a similar device, a portable
wie
cloak
süß.
emitter.
What is involved?
I'll need you to retrieve the data from one of the medtech shells here. With that, I should be able to reconstruct the portable cloak emitter's design.
Copy that. I'll see what I can find.
Jack, this is the primary examination room, where prototype cures were administered to volunteers.
These medical beds were used for diagnostic scans?
And to monitor potential treatments. Many of my peers focused on post-diagnosis options.
What sort of options?
Pain management, transmission reduction. Though most patients with terminal diagnosis volunteer for cure recently.
Wait. There are diagnoses that aren't terminal.
If the infection is limited to the extremities and has not yet penetrated the epidermis, amputation has a roughly 40% success rate.
In emergencies, the integrated cutter, equipped by several models of the X3 shell, including Jack's, can...
Forget I asked.
The webbing prevents access to the sensor from this side. I won't be able to pass through. I'm entering the medical lab.
Doctor, perhaps you should step away for a moment. I'm sure there's still plenty of output data to parse before we're ready to initiate the experiment.
She's here, isn't she? Juno?
More than likely. Yes.
The research director.
I can handle it, Juno.
Are you certain?
I'm not looking away.
Ah, my suspicions were correct. They did develop a portable version of the cloak emitter. Unfortunately, the data contained in this shell is only partial. Jack, to complete the reconstruction, I'll need you to scan additional units.
Understood. I found another casualty of the biomass. This researcher seems to have been helping the other one.
Dr. Adriana Lay.
She was too young for this. A researcher and one of our anesthesiologists.
Data
I
port.
recovered her research. It also seems she received a message from Dr. McKenna with all of his access codes attached. Would you like me to play it?
Affirmative.
Beginning playback.
Hey, Adriana. I know I can count on you to look out for everyone. So I'm sending you my access codes. They should get you into my stuff and a few engineering areas. The spare rations, my playing cards, whatever else. If any of it helps even a little bit, please, take it. Share it. I figure it might make things a little more comfortable for you all.
Tram, prepare for departure.
Shit, I gotta go. I have no idea how to end this. Good luck. No. Goodbye.
End of message. If any of Dr. McKenna's codes prove useful, I'll add them to your ARM computer.
Thank you.
Ja. Wo sind sie?
A keypad for the duct. Juno, could one of Dr. McKenna's codes work here?
I believe so, yes. Try 2525.
Access to the
Session.
utility ducts granted. Moving through the vents now.
Tell me
Oops.
something, Doctor. How long does it take
What?
for the infection to run its course?
Once it becomes fully active, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 days. But most victims opt to expedite their end.
Excellent. That shell contained more data regarding the portable emitters. We'll need a good bit more to reconstruct the design, though.
So, how does the infection work? Once it becomes active? I mean,
The biomass drains energy directly from your cells. Your body is in the throes of widespread cellular decay. Major organ failure follows 12 to 18 hours later. But at least by then you're not
Ist
as much,
Cut.
since the infection has likely started feeding on the electrical signals traveling through your nervous system. By day 4 you've...
alright.
Scan complete. We still need more data. Interesting. Doctor, this shell has a log conversation regarding the director and your research.
Go ahead, Juno.
Beginning playback.
Alright, Unit 5, back to the lab. The director wants to run those simulations again.
Really? For what purpose?
I'm not sure. Dr. Harlan's ideas were intriguing, to say the least, but, well, I suppose the director knows best. Go ahead and prep the simulations. I'll join you shortly.
Acknowledge, Dr. McKenna.
So the director eventually explored your theories after all?
I didn't expect she would continue it after I left. But without the biomass-based genetic material, it would have been as much of a dead end as containment.
My reconstruction of the personal cloak emitter is nearly complete. One more scan should be sufficient.
Ah. Und wo soll ich den herbekommen? Hier bin ich rausgekommen. Ich kann da nicht durchscannen. Warte, da. Ah. Ja, ich bin drinnen.
A further casualty of the biomass.
It appears he was trying
Ouch.
to assist right up until the end. Data collection complete. Finalizing tool reconstruction. Reconstruction complete. Please visit a fabricator to install your new cloak emitter.
Da ist er. Und Reprint. Oh, Reprint.
Cloak emitter installation successful. This portable version is practically identical to the mounted prototypes you've been using thus far.
Yay, ich hab einen Cloak Emitter. Sehr schön. Cool. Aber weitermachen werden wir erst in der nächsten Folge. Und das war's mit der heutigen Folge von... Das sieht hier eklig aus. Von Half-Life Alyx. Ich hoffe, euch hat's gefallen. Bis zum nächsten Mal und ciao.